All right. Good morning, class. Today we are going to have a special course. Our special course is what? Is to give you some expressions which can help you write easily your essay or your writing. There are some useful expressions I'm going to give you which can be a great benefit for you to help you organize your essay or your writing. So don't waste time, let's go. So the first one, okay, we are the title of our lesson, useful expressions to write an essay. Alright, useful. You see, we are useful expressions to write an essay. Alright, the first part, introduction. If you want to introduce yourself or you want to introduce something, you have to say, first of all, to begin with, in order to decide whether or not to outline the main points, or firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally, or eventually. Ok, lorsqu'à mean in French, afin de décider si ou non exposer les points principaux. Alright, in the second point, if you want to enumerate arguments, what can you say? If you want to enumerate arguments, you can say in addition to, additionally, besides, moreover, furthermore, or above all, which can mean in French by de plus, en outre, surtout. Alright, the weighing up, you want to weigh up arguments, okay, your arguments or some arguments, you and your friends or you are debating on some topic. Alright, you can say on the one hand, this, and on the other hand this. Alright, to consider the advantages and disadvantages, arguments for or against, to discuss the pros and cons. You are discussing on something, okay? To discuss the pros and the cons, discuter le pour et le contre in French, in theory, in reality, alright? Both and, à la fois et, alright? Not only, but also, alright? Anyway, at any rate, in any case, de toute façon. It means in French, de toute façon. In fact, actually, as a matter of fact. En fait, it means in French, en fait. Up to a point means jusqu'à un certain point. So to speak, pour ainsi dire. So to speak means pour ainsi dire. By no means, pas du tout, ok, not at all, en aucune façon, alright, we go ahead with comparisons, you want to compare ideas, things, compare to, in comparison with, or to draw a comparison between, and, or to make a comparison between, and, see, or similarly, as well as, which means in French, aussi bien que, de même que. Alright, let's go ahead with restrictions. Alright, restrictions. However, there, nevertheless, whereas, although, though, even though, means bien que, même si, in spite of, malgré, or despite means malgré in French, unlike, à la différence de, in contrast to, or in contrast with something, alright? On the contrary, something is contrary to something. Something is contrary to something. Okay, on the contrary, you can use it also. So let's go ahead with referring to. You want to refer something to something else, referring to, or regarding, as regards, en ce qui concerne, as far as is concerned, or, okay, according to, you have to notice that according to is what? According to is used to introduce someone else's opinion. Don't say according to me. No. Don't say according to me. Say simply according to you, according to your father, according to your teacher, according to your president, and so on and so forth. Very selon in French. Selon in French. Alright, how to emphasize? How to emphasize? If you want to emphasize on something, you have to say, I would like to point out that, j'aimerais faire remarquer que, I'd like to point out that, j'aimerais faire remarquer que, I'd like to emphasize, j'aimerais mettre l'accent sur, alright. Generalize, if you want to generalize something, on the whole, in generally speaking, as a rule, to some extent, to a large extent, or to what extent you can say, okay, in many ways, in all respect, à tous les égards, okay, in most cases, dans la plupart des cas, in most cases, de la plupart des cas, in many cases, dans beaucoup de cas, basically, fondamentalement, ou bien à la base, right, here in French. Okay, if you want to give examples, some tools which can help you give examples, if you want to deal with, you want to make yourself understood clearly, there are some expressions that you can use. For example, for instance, such as, including, tel que, y compris, right? In particular or particularly, to give you an example of what I mean, to illustrate this point, or what I mean is, or etc., and so on, and so forth, or you can say etc., and so on, and so forth. Okay, etc. That is to say, c'est-à-dire, or i, okay, that's it to say. Okay, making exceptions. If you want to make exceptions, you can use apart from, or except, or if you want, you can use with the exception of, if you want to make exceptions. So you have three elements. The first element is apart from, the second element except, the third element is the exception of. Alright, let's go ahead with how to give reasons of, if you want to give your reasons of some things. Alright, we can say because, as, or since, comme puisque, because of, the reason for this is, the reason why, okay, for some reasons or another, I have every reason to believe that, alright. You want to give consequences, okay, how can you deal with it? We have some, here is the word, therefore, consequently, an expression, as a result, therefore means don't, consequently, as a result, for this reason, all these reasons, alright. For personal point of view, you want to give your point of view of something, your personal point of view, how can you deal with it? Okay, I think that in my opinion, in my view, to my mind, okay, this is a matter of opinion, in my experience, as far as I know, as far as I am concerned, alright. To be aware of a problem, or to be unaware of a problem. Être conscient, ne pas être conscient de. To tell the truth, the fact is that I am convinced that, I firmly believe that, I feel something should be done about that. Alright, okay, you want to agree on something, how can you deal with it? Agreeing, I entirely agree with, or absolutely, I absolutely agree with. You can say I entirely agree with, or I absolutely agree with. That's exactly my own view. I'm of exactly the same opinion. That's perfectly true. Right? I'd like to summarize you. I'd like to summarize you. I would like to summarize you. Okay, disagree. I partly disagree with. I partly disagree with. I don't entirely agree with. I agree in principle, but that's not the way I see it. That's not the way I see it. I see things rather differently myself. I see things rather differently myself. I'm not at all convinced that. I'm not at all convinced that. I'm not absolutely sure. I'm not absolutely sure. All right. So we go ahead with interest, plans, and intentions. To be interested in something or to be interested in doing something, right? It interests me a lot. It interests me a lot. My main interest is, or my particular interest is. Okay, I have the intention of doing. All right. I am prepared to do something. I am determined to do something. I'm blind to do something. I'm very keen on doing something. All right. A lack of interest. If you haven't you have interest on something, I find rather uninteresting or rather boring. I find rather interesting or I find rather boring. I don't take any interest in. It's all the same to me wherever. Ça m'est égal si. It's all the same to me wherever. Ça m'est égal si. All right. It means nothing to me. All right. How to summarize and draw conclusions. To summarize and draw conclusions, you can use this expression and words. Firstly, you can use finally. The most used word. You like this word. All right. Finally, last but not least, in conclusion, to conclude, we can draw the conclusion. To sum up, to summarize, we can say, or to sum up. All in all means in French globalement. In short, in briefly, all things considered, the subject under discussion, I found it difficult to reach a conclusion, but I'm tempted to say, I find it difficult to reach a conclusion, but I'm tempted to say, all right, that means you want to conclude something. Okay, let's see some modifying adverbs. Okay, here, totally, entirely, completely, mostly, mainly, chiefly. That means surtout, principalement, essentiellement, partly, comparatively, relatively, extremely, incredibly. All right, so we are going to stop with this special lessons because I have just told you that this lessons is on some expressions and some useful expressions which can help you be at ease even if you have to write an essay or to write a dissertation or something else. So use them, and you'll see you'll master them, and you'll see that English is not a complicated language. So we are going to stop here. So bye, take care.